Abukuma was the sixth and last of the vessels completed for the Imperial Japanese Navy IJN in the Nagara class of light cruisers, and like other vessels of her class, she was intended for use as the flagship of a destroyer flotilla. She was named after the Abukuma River in the Thoka region of Japan. She saw action during World War II in the attack on Pearl Harbor and in the Pacific, before being disabled in the Battle of Surigao Strait in October 1944, then bombed and sunk by the United States Army Air Forces USAAF off the coast of the Philippines. Background. Following the production of the 5 Kuma-class cruisers, an additional 3 500-ton class light cruisers authorized under the 8-4 fleet program were ordered by the Imperial Japanese Navy in 1920. Due to minor changes in design, primarily due to advances in torpedo technology, these 3 vessels were initially designated as IFID Kuma class, or 5,500-ton class type II, before being redesignated as a separate class named after the lead vessel, Nagara. A second set of 3 vessels was authorized in late 1920. Design. Main article. Nagara-class cruiser. The Nagara-class vessels were essentially identical to the previous Kuma-class cruisers, retaining the same hull design, engines, and main weaponry, with the addition of the new 610 Type 93 long-lance torpedoes, which required a larger launcher. However, in silhouette, a major difference from the Kuma class was in the configuration of the bridge, which incorporated an aircraft hangar. Initially, a 33-foot platform was mounted above the No.2 turret, extending over the forward superstructure below the bridge. This was later replaced by an aircraft catapult. Even so, the arrangement proved unwieldy, and the catapult was moved to the rear of each ship in the class, between the No. 5 and No. 6 turrets during retrofits in 1929 to 1934. Abukuma and Kainu were scheduled to receive the new Type 93 torpedoes in early 1941. However, shortages meant that only Abukuma was refitted quadruple mounts in place of the aft twin mounts between March and May 1941, and her forward twin mounts were removed. Abukuma carried 16 Type 93 torpedoes, including 8 reloads. Abukuma was also the first vessel in her class to receive radar in 1943. Construction and career. Early career. Abukuma was laid down on December 8, 1921, launched on March 16, 1923 and completed at the Utaga Dock Company on May 26, 1925, her commissioning having been delayed due to the Great Kant earthquake. From November 1927 to December 1928, she was under the command of Captain Taijiro Toyota. On October 20, 1930, during large-scale fleet maneuvers, Abukuma read the cruiser Kitakami between her No. 2 and No. 3 funnels. The collision only lightly damaged Kitakami, but Abukuma lost her bow and had to be towed by the battleship Mutsu to Tateyama, Chiba, and from there she was returned to Yokosuka Naval Arsenal by tugboats. Repairs with a temporary bow were completed by November 22, 1930, but a permanent bow with a slightly different design was refitted at Kurain Naval Arsenal from April 1 to December 30, 1931. From December 1931 to November 1932, she was under the command of Captain Seiichi Iwamura. In 1932, Abukuma was assigned to the Japanese Third Fleet and assigned to patrols off the coast of northern China after the Manchurian incident. As the situation with China continued to deteriorate, Abukuma was assigned to provide coverage for Japanese transports during the Battle of Shanghai, and remained on station patrolling the China coast and the Yangtze River through 1938. Her anti-aircraft weaponry was upgraded in 1933 and 1936, and her torpedo launchers in 1938. From November 1934 to November 1935, she was under the command of Captain Takeo Kurita. Early stages of the Pacific War. Abukuma set sail from Hitakapo Bay on Etarofu in the Kuriil Islands on November 26, 1941 with Vice Admiral Chiwichi Nagamo's carrier striking force. She served as the flagship of Rear Admiral Center Mori's Destroyer Squadron 1 Dairon 1, consisting of the destroyers Shiranui, Arare, Kager, Kazumi, Tanakazi, Hamikaze, Isokazi, and Urikazi. Dairon 1 served as the anti-submarine escort for the 6 aircraft carriers Akagi, Kaga, SRY, Hiri, Shikaku, Ziwikaku, 2 battleships Hai and Kitishima and 2 heavy cruisers Tone and Shikuma that carried the offensive power of the carrier. Striking force. Nearly 360 aircraft were launched against Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, inflicting heavy damage. Sinking 4 American battleships, damaging 3 others, destroying more than 100 aircraft. After the attack on Pearl Harbor, Abukuma led Dairon 1 with most of the carrier striking force on the return to Japan, and received a hero's welcome on December 23, 1941. Actions in the South Pacific. In January 1942, Dairon 1 escorted the Japanese invasion fleet for the invasion of Rabaul, New Britain, and Cabian, New Ireland from its forward base at Truk in the Caroline Islands. In early February, Dairon 1 accompanied the carrier striking force in an unsuccessful pursuit of Vice Admiral William F. Halsey Jr.'s Task Force 8, after the aircraft carrier USS Prize raided Kwajalein and Wutch in the Marshall Islands. Abukuma was then ordered to pull out, from which it accompanied the carrier striking force on the attack on Port Darwin, Australia. At the end of February and into April, Dairon 1 escorted the carrier striking force in attacks on Java in the Dutch East Indies and Colombo and Trincomalee in Ceylon and against other targets in the Indian Ocean, including the Royal Navy aircraft. Carrier HMS Hermes as part of the Indian Ocean raids. The fleet returned to Singapore on April 11, 1942. Battle of the Aleutian Islands. In May, Abukuma and its destroyer squadron were reassigned to the Northern Force under Vice Admiral Bashir Hosogaya, and escorted the light aircraft carriers RYJ and Junwai, supporting the invasion of Attu and Kiska in the Battle of the Aleutian Islands. In June and July, Dairon 1 returned to Japan to escort a convoy of reinforcements to the 2 freshly captured islands in the Aleutians. After uneventful patrolling in the Aleutian Islands and Kuriil Islands, Dairon 1 escorted 3 more reinforcement and supply convoys to the Aleutians in October, November, and December. Abukuma returned to Sasebo Naval Arsenal for refit on December 12, 1942, during which time 2 triple-mount Type 9625 AA guns were installed, and the number 514 cm 53rd year Type naval gun and the Quad 13.2 machine gun mount in front of the bridge were replaced by a twin 13.2 machine gun mount. After refit, Abukuma returned to northern waters to continue reinforcement operations to Attu and Kiska in January, February, and March 1943. Abukuma participated in the Battle of the Komandorsky Islands on March 26, 1943, during which time she fired 95 rounds from her 140 guns and 4 torpedoes. Abukuma was undamaged during the battle, but the heavy cruiser Nachi was badly damaged and the Japanese Fifth Fleet was forced to abort its supply mission to the Aleutians. The fleet commander, Vice Admiral Hosogaya, disgraced because he had been forced to withdraw by the weaker American fleet, was forced to retire. From April through May 1943, Abukuma underwent refit at the Maizuru Naval Arsenal, during which time a Type 21 air search radar was installed, and it was thus not present during Operation Land Crab, during which American forces recaptured Attu. In July, Abukuma and Dairon 1 provided support for the evacuation of Kiska. On July 26, 1943, the Kaiboken Konashiri collided with Abukuma, hitting her starboard quarter, but causing little damage. On September 12, 1943, while cruising off Paramus Hero, Abukuma suffered slight damage by near misses by bombs from USAAF B-24 Liberator and B-25 Mitchell aircraft. In dry dock once again at Yokosuka from October through November 1943, Abukuma's No. 7. Gun mount was removed, and a twin mount of 40 caliber Type 89 127 Ha guns unshielded was fitted, as was a triple mount Type 9625 AA gun and 4 single mount 25 AA guns. After refit, Abukuma returned to northern waters in December for anti-submarine patrol off Hokkaido and the Kuriil Islands to June. On June 21, 1944, during yet another refit at Yokosuka Naval Arsenal, a Type 22 surface search radar was fitted, together with 10 more single-mount Type 9625 AA guns, 5 single-mount Type 9313. 2 machine guns were also added. Work was completed by July 13, 1944, after which Abukuma had a total of 30 .25 and 10 13 AA guns. Battle of Surigao Strait. Abukuma remained in Japanese home waters through the middle of October 1944, when she was reassigned to sortie with its 7 destroyers against the U.S. fleet off Taiwan in October 1944. However, she was redirected from Mako in the Pescadores to Manila to support Vice Admiral Shoji Nishimura against the U.S. Navy in the Philippines. Abukuma was joined by the heavy cruisers Nachi, Ashigara, and 7 destroyers in a flotilla commanded by Vice Admiral Kiyohide Shima. During 1522 October, this flotilla was spotted by 6 different American submarines, but only one was able to maneuver close enough to fire torpedoes. USS Sea Dragon. The flotilla was cruising at 19 knots 35 kilometers h, and zigzagging through the Luzon Strait on October 22. Sea Dragon fired 4 torpedoes through her stern tubes, but all missed. All 6 submarines reported the flotilla's course, position, and speed to American fleet units approaching the area. On October 25, Abukuma met her fate in the Battle of Surigao Strait, part of the overall campaign of 4 naval battles collectively referred to as the Battle of Leyte Gulf. In the pre-dawn hours, as Shima's force entered the strait, the flotilla was attacked by a squadron of American PT boats. Lieutenant J.G. Mike Kovar's PT-137 fired a torpedo at a destroyer, but it ran deep and passed beneath the target to strike Abukuma at 03:25 m in the No. 1 boiler room, killing 37 crewmen. Abukuma was disabled and fell behind the rest of the flotilla, but after emergency repairs, was able to get underway, and by 04:45 m, she was making 20 knots 37 kilometers h. By 05:35 m, Abukuma had caught up to the rest of the flotilla. However, she was down at the bow and shipping at least 500 tons of seawater. At 08:30 m she was ordered to Dapitan for repairs, escorted by the destroyer Ushio. On October 26, Abukuma was spotted and attacked repeatedly by B-24 Liberator bombers of the 5th Group, 13th Air Force, armed with 500 lb 2-7 kg bombs. At 10:06 am she took a direct hit near the No. 3 140 turret. At 10:22 more hits by B-24 bombers of the 33rd Squadron 22nd Group, 5th Air Force were scored further aft that started fires. The fire spread to the engine rooms and aft torpedo rooms. Power was lost and the ship's speed declined. At 10:37 am, 4 Type 93 Long Lance torpedoes in the aft torpedo room exploded with devastating effect. Between 11:00 and 11:30 am off Negros Island, the crew abandoned ship. At 11:42 am, she sank by the stern at 0920 and 12232 E coordinates. 0920 and 12232 E with 250 of her crewmen. Ushio rescued her captain and 283 crewmen. Abukuma was removed from the Navy list on December 20, 1944.